Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage M.K. Anand, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Times Network. Please give it up for M.K. Anand, everybody.
Thanks a lot, all of you, for being present here to sort of give strength to E4M's maiden venture here. Thanks Anurag and thanks Naval. Thanks all of you. I stand here. I've not been an entrepreneur. I've been a professional all my life. So I don't think I want to sort of advise or sort of tell you something that you may not know. You may know much more than me. But I have about 30 years of very, very hard sales, marketing, operations, and delivery experience behind me, and a lot of it has been almost startup-like within a large corporation, and therefore probably I can sort of be a sort of an observer and commentator and tell you something that I think the current you guys need to sort of focus on. We are living in the middle of a revolution for the last, I would say, about 20 years or so. A revolution is a period when the new collides with a very strong old. And it is more difficult to manage the old during a revolution because, the legacy setups are trying to hold on and still try to squeeze value out of what is existing. And the new are trying to build value with crumbs. And that's the exciting and the most challenging aspect of it. We have basically two fundamental forces that I can see in the last 20 odd years, I would say about 2000 plus, year 2000 plus, is technology has been consistently giving us, supercharged shocks. I think every second now, every time, everything is sort of standing on its head, everything is being improved. And we also have a constantly growing global population in terms of real sheer size. Connectivity within that population has been increasing. I mean, we started with pagers in our time and then cell phones and smartphones and 4G and 5G and stuff like that. They're continuously sort of making it more and more integrated. We have the same technology is spoiling the consumer for choice, increasing their aspiration, and at the end of it all, creating better educated and better experienced individuals, professionals who are capable of a lot more than what the other side is about to offer. And that's the other side, which is corporations like ours or a lot of mega corporations across the world, other than the ones that have sort of really made it big in the last 15, 20 years, the so-called unicorns and the Googles and the so-called Metas of the world. The major corporations of the world are all operating in a productivity squeeze. They are trying to sort of, run to keep their position, and the consequence is not enough profits, not enough jobs created. This has already been the situation, and many of you all may have started in 2012, 13, 14, 15. I think the wave has started more and more in 2015, 16, 17 onwards, not just in India, across the globe. And in the middle of that, a forced experiment called the pandemic comes in, which is forcing people to lower costs at home, lower stress, higher convenience, higher comfort lifestyle at an individual level. The consumer that we currently are faced with wants to live more, live better, experience more. A sort of, everybody wants artisanal things. And the producer who's come out of this is the do-it-yourself, DIY producer, either as gig workers or as entrepreneurs like yourself. I'm sure a lot of you might have started in 2020 and afterwards. I've seen a lot of people coming in that time because there is the change that came in has offered huge amount of opportunity for people like you to sort of offer conveniences which people are now wanting. D2C, therefore, is a trend, a natural expression of our times. It's a movement whose time has come. My experience, I've been involved with 3 such so-called D2C startups from around 2017-18 onwards, but mainly in 2020-21. I think, and that's what I wanted to sort of leave you with, I won't to take any more time. I think, what I see is the founder has a sort of a creator's bias. The creator's bias is to make the product as well as I can, better than other people, to lovingly and package it uniquely and make it look like, I'm the product. Whatever category that you take, whichever area that you go into, the founder has, I think, a creator's bias, an artist's bias to make it better and better. And that most of the times is that I have seen, and maybe my experience is limited to that, has been a producer's bias. I think business, and I can tell you this, business is actually sales. Business is not creation. Business, I mean, it's great to sort of create stuff, innovate, get the best quality of things at cheapest cost, and to package them fantastically. But business is sales. The quicker you move to the sales paradigm from the producers or the artist bias of the founder, the quicker you will be able to actually make ends meet. And that is the sales paradigm. I think most people in the first or second year, and probably some of you all probably still might be trapped, and you need to get out of that, is the 70-30, 80-20 producer to seller ratio. I think you need to reduce your producer's bias to 20 or 30% of your total time, and the remaining time needs to go into your business. Within that, I would suggest not to put all 70% into the paradigm of sales. Sales, I mean, I saw a lot of fantastic companies out there which are also here. I think Spinta and Shoptimize, etc. There are all these fantastic digital companies who will help you with, maximizing your monetization, getting your everything right with reference to those very, very important numbers, which are critical when it comes to people who will be your investors. But I think you need to take 20% of your time. If I was to say you go 30% production, from 70-30 you become 30-70. Out of this 70, please put 20% of your time, attention and money right now into brand. If you do not put that little attention into brand right now, your repeat purchase, which is an important thing from the sales point of view, and the stature that you build when you are wanting to talk to the investor community. I understand investor community will say, 50 lakh per month, maximum coming from digital, then I will talk to you. But you also remember all these guys who have made it big are people who have also bothered about marketing and brand right from the beginning. And that is where you need to come to the legacy operators. I'm not saying come to us as Times Network or Viacom or whoever. You need to look at the benefits that legacy companies are able to offer you. And mind you, these are all legacy companies who are trapped in their costs and are trying to make ends meet. You will be surprised at the discounts and the kind of packages that you might be able to get when you really sit and talk to them. We've been invested as Times Network in this space since the last 12 odd years. I think we are the ones who started Leaders of Tomorrow, I think back in 2009 or 10. And we are credited with having awarded in the initial years Paytm and Make My Trip and Kentaro Systems, etc. These are all startups which have gone ahead to become big. I'm sure all of you, in fact, have a higher chance than those people because, the time is now, the technology is now, and the amount of money which is going into the investment that is going into is much more than that time. We are invested into this space, and I'm sure there will be other companies like us. Please start applying some attention to PR, reputation, and brand management. There are many opportunities out there that 20% of your time and indeed current cost you should put into that. I understand, even 50,000 to a lakh of rupees per month, 2-3 lakh rupees per quarter, or even 15-20 lakhs per annum will be big for you because that will probably distort your P&L. But trust me, when it comes to production or logistics, you're absolutely spending that kind of money already. Cultivate a good PR setup, cultivate a good reputation management setup, start talking to big media companies. You will be surprised at what they will have to offer you. So please, my advice to you, work on brand. I mean, to give you an example, I mean, we manage brands. I mean, whether it is Times Now or Mirror Now or ET Now, etc. Why is it that Times Now, for instance, great example, Times Now, why is Times Now better known than other news channels in its space? I'm sure Republic is also very well known because we really are bothered about the stories that are written about us, positive and negative. And that is why, compared to certain other players which are also doing fantastic work, which are functionally as good as us, we are always in the news. And when you're in the news is when you become market share and your retention of that memory, recognition on the shelf is much higher, and that comes back to you as better sales also. That's all I wanted to tell you. Thank you. Wish you all the best.